On the news, troops launch manhunt as new terror group Lukarawa intensifies killings in Sokoto and Kebbi states. 17 Chadian soldiers and 96 rebels killed in a Boko Haram attack, Army announces. And workers to embark on strike in states yet to implement new minimum wage on December 1. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Atikun. The Nigerian Army has escalated its operations against the terror group Lukarawa, which has reportedly been expanding its violent activities across Sokoto and Kebbi states. The acting chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, personally visited troops in the region, where he issued a directive for a manhunt of the group, a newly identified threat in the northwestern area. As part of his mission, Oluyede assessed the readiness of troops stationed in Tangaza and Lela local government areas, directing them to remain vigilant and united. The Nigerian military says the terror group, with its deep-rooted ties in the area, presents a complex challenge requiring both military precision and local support to dismantle its influence fully.
I am here particularly to see my soldiers, to assess their state of readiness, and to charge them to continue to do what they've been doing well, so as to secure Nigeria in general. What I will tell you at this moment is that, you see, there will always be challenges. Now, the issue is, how do we react to those challenges? So one of the reasons why I'm here is to charge up my soldiers to brace up to challenge, and that we shall do. My charge to the community people is for them to support us, because the fact is that the Nigerian Army belongs to all Nigerians. And if we don't get their support, we can't succeed. And if we don't succeed, that means Nigeria itself will not be secured. And we need Nigeria to be secured so that we can have economic prosperity.
Still on the emergence of Lukarawa, the new terror group affiliated with jihadist factions in Mali and Niger poses a growing threat in Nigeria, raising serious security concerns across the country's northwest. A former assistant director at the Department of State Services, Dennis Amakri, who spoke to TV360 Nigeria, says the Nigerian military must remain on top of the situation, while the root causes of the emergence of terror groups in the country, including Nigeria's ungoverned entry point as well as extreme poverty, must be addressed.
The border is so porous that these people have free movement of arms and people. So it is very, very important that we look at that. Then, of course, there are fundamental causes. You know, the root causes, which are the poverty, and then, of course, unemployment, and stuff like that. So are we going to address the root causes? That's one. And then, of course, if we are going to deal with it militarily, yes, we can do it like the carrot and stick approach. One important thing is, of course, sending a lot of intelligence officers, because these people are coming in as religious people, and then, of course, they are being indirectly financed with the mining of gold and other minerals in that area. So they are rich. They are spreading money around the place. So instead of going around and arresting people, I think, of course, the security agencies know what to do, and I think they're on top of it, where they will have to flood the area with intelligence undercover agents. And then, of course, get through to the root cause, and then, of course, identify all their leaders, and then, of course, plug them out.
Meanwhile, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria is participating in the joint Arab-Islamic Summit because of its proximity and long-standing relationship with the Middle East. The summit will commence on Monday, November 11, 2024 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. During the summit, President Tinubu is expected to address the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict and emphasize Nigeria's call for an immediate ceasefire and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. According to the minister, unless a diplomatic solution is found, the conflict may engulf the entire region and, in effect, the entire world.
Now, 1 year down the line, we have seen the kind of thing that has happened in Israel and in Palestine. We have seen the kind of loss of lives and destruction of property that everyone around the globe is talking about. And so when this summit was muted and Nigeria was invited, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, consistent with his thinking about being very humane. He is a very, very humane leader. He looks at the issue of humanity very seriously. Whatever the reasons are, he thinks that both countries need to de-escalate. They must come back to the negotiating table so that at least for the, let's have some peaceful resolution. Whatever is the case, this conflict can never end on the war front. Nigeria is very consistent on that. It supports a two-state solution with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and security within very secured borders for both countries. Nigeria feels that that is the only way forward. We must go back to the root of the matter. Of course, this conflict is rooted in the fact that both countries feel that there is something that they are losing. So Nigeria feels that if all of them come together and then there is this imperative of the principle of two-state solution, Israel living in as a state, as it does now in peace and security, the Palestine also having that. And recall that unless you do that, look at the way the conflict is already going, spilling over the borders of both Israel and Palestine. It's going to Lebanon, and we are also seeing that Iran is also being gradually brought into the conflict. So unless this solution is found, and unless there is a diplomatic solution to it, this may engulf the entire region, and in effect, it will also engulf the entire world. Nigeria is a very important country, like I said earlier. Unless there is peace in the Middle East, there is no way Nigeria will not have also issues to contend with. Already, we are seeing movement of people around the region. Nigeria, because of its proximity, is likely to begin to draw some of the people who are escaping this conflict from. And we also have our own share of issues here. So we want all these states to live in peace, to live in harmony within secured borders so that the world can be at peace.
The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has directed workers to embark on an indefinite strike on December 1 in states where the 70,000 naira new minimum wage is yet to be implemented. In a communique issued by the NLC's National Executive Council, the union says it notes with deep frustration the refusal by some state governments to implement the new minimum wage. The Labour Union described the non-implementation of the new minimum wage as a blatant disregard for the law and the lives of millions of Nigerian workers. According to the NLC, it would initiate a series of industrial actions in all non-compliant states until the minimum wage is fully implemented across Nigeria. In the nation's Federal Capital Territory, certain areas have suffered a disruption in power supply as suspected vandals have attacked the 330 kV Lokoja-Gwagwalada's transmission line 1. According to the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the attack, which took place in the early hours of November 9, 2024, affected 3 of its transmission towers. In a statement issued on Sunday, the TCN highlighted the increasing trend of vandalism targeting transmission lines and towers has become a major concern, significantly affecting the nation's power infrastructure and hindering the growth and stability of the national grid. There was a showcase of Africa's vast creativity, style and cultural pride over the weekend at the just concluded 2024 GTCO Fashion Weekend, one of Africa's biggest fashion events. The 7th edition of the 2-day event, which took place over the weekend in Lagos, brought together designers, creatives and fashion enthusiasts and entrepreneurs across the globe to celebrate African and international fashion. TV360's Queen Ibanigo, who attended the event, completes the report.
The two-day consumer-focused fair, organized by the Guaranteed Trust Holding Company plc, is designed to spotlight indigenous fashion, support local designers, and empower creatives and entrepreneurs. The event Stage Fashion Move Forward featured 4 masterclasses, stage designers' presentations, and over 140 curated pop-up fashion retail stores, a fabric market, and 12 runway shows featuring Africa's finest designers and international designers. For both the regular and first-time vendors and designers, events like this support local creatives and foster brand awareness.
It's overwhelming, like we're really overwhelmed, and this is our first time applying, and we picked the first time, and I want to say it's overwhelming. We have sold out in most of our designs. Currently we are producing for tomorrow again, and it's a very good one.
Definitely exposure. We want to gain the audience that we're looking for, and largely most of them are here today, so we hope that this puts us on the map when it comes to modest fashion. We want to be the #1 brand, so that's what we're looking for. I mean, it's fashion season, so yeah, why not if not? Yeah, and everybody here looks beautiful. All different types of styles are in here, so yeah, we're happy to be here.
Well, it's been amazing, lots of patronage, and we've been able to foster quite a number of profitable relationships. Well, we look forward to more collaborations. We look forward to the relationships that we have been able to foster to transform into profitable partnerships.
It's been amazing, and it's growing better, bigger, every year. And the exposure, and I mean, for brand visibility is very important. And cooperating, I mean, GT has been, it's a family now because we are always coming back. And with better care, better attention, and we are also growing bigger with GT.
In the crowded hall, the runway came alive as models comfortably strutted on the stage, showcasing pieces that varied in style, silhouette, and cultural inspiration. One of the highlights on the runway showcase was a display by a handicapped model, inspiring the audience with a message of resilience and inclusivity.
I think the event is a great one, in the sense that I saw someone that is handicapped and he was still modeling, and that was really motivating to me. Like you can be anyone and still do something great, and that's nice. I think it's a good idea, and it should continue like this. There was one particular design I saw there, and it was actually amazing. Like, it was good.
It's been really fun. I've seen a lot of really nice outfits, a lot of really nice brands. The runway is also fire as well, and I love the fact that like Nigeria is accepting a lot more broad styles of fashion and all that. I can't even pick a favorite. Like, all of them are fire, to be honest. Like, this is the place to be if you're somebody that really has a passion for fashion. So yeah, I recommend being here.
I bought some clothes for some designers outside, and I'm seeing pieces that are rare. It's not something you see everywhere. Yeah, so that's why I really love this. Fashion is the future. Like, you see the way we are dressed, everyone is having fun, and so fashion is something that is really big, so it's really awesome. I would like it to continue, yeah.
Organizers of the GTCO Fashion Weekend said this year's event is an improvement from the previous editions. It is a deliberate and collective effort to uplift, empower, and celebrate incredible talent in Africa and beyond. Queen Ibanigo, TV360 News, Lagos.
It's time for a short break, but coming up on News Now, Haitian Prime Minister Gary Conille ousted amid ongoing crisis. Stay with us for details.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a reminder of our top stories. The Nigerian army has escalated its operations against the terror group Lukarawa, which has reportedly been expanding its violent activities across Sokoto and Kebbi State. Acting Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede personally visited troops in the region, where he issued a directive for a manhunt of the group, a newly identified threat in the northwestern area. As part of his mission, Oluyede assessed the readiness of troops stationed in Tangaza and Lela local government areas, directing them to remain vigilant and united. We also informed you that the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has directed workers to embark on an indefinite strike action on December 1 in states where the 70,000 naira new minimum wage is yet to be implemented. In a communique issued by the NLC's National Executive Council, the union says it notes with deep frustration the refusal by some state governments to implement the new minimum wage. The Labour Union described the non-implementation of the minimum wage as a blatant disregard for the law and lives of millions of Nigerian workers. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. 2 of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so... Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Which game was with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
It's time for business news. Victoria Konde is on standby with the latest. What's happening, Victoria?
Well, Simi, after weeks of negotiations, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has secured an agreement with Dangote Refinery to lift products directly. National President of IPMAN, Abubakar Garima, while announcing this in Abuja on Monday after a meeting of the National Working Committee of the association, said the partnership will ensure steady and affordable supply of PMS products nationwide. Garima urged IPMAN members to support Dangote Refinery refinery, citing backward integration benefits and positive impacts on Nigeria's foreign exchange market. On compressed natural gas, the IPMAN president said the association is preparing for a seamless transition to CNG refuel stations nationwide as it is currently negotiating with the presidential CNG initiative. Still on business, the President of Ireland, Michael Higgins, has warned that Africa is projected to pay $163 billion in debt service in 2024, a significant increase from $61 billion in 2010, marking a 167.2% rise. Higgins made the statement during the 2024 Kofi Annan Eminent Speakers Lecture in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, where he emphasized on the urgent need for global cooperation to address the interconnected crisis of climate change, rising debt and food insecurity across the African continent. He also highlighted the significant gap in climate financing, pointing out that current contributions from wealthier nations, particularly in the global north, are severely inadequate in meeting the needs of climate-impacted countries in Africa. Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. It's the first trading day of the week and the Nigerian equities market ended in the bullish territory, posting a 0.14% gain. This boost brings the market capitalization to an impressive 59.02 trillion naira. Now in the aggregate, 127 NGS listed equities participated in trading, ending with 24 gainers and 28 losers. And Unicel Interlinked led the gainers, ending with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 9.02 kobo per share, and it was followed closely by Aradel. And then at the end of the first weekday of the trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange market, over 297 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 9,902 deals, corresponding to a market value exceeding 7 billion naira. And when this is compared to the previous NGX trading day, which is Friday, the 8th of November, today's data shows 38% decline in volume, a 17% decline in turnover. However, we have a 10% improvement in deals. Now, switching over to the global scene, it's a similar case as all our select equities are the US Dow Jones, the UK's FTSE, and the Japan's Nikkei all ended in the bullish territory. As you can see on the screen, they all ended in the greens. And then moving over to the foreign exchange market, the US dollar traded at 1,735 naira on the black market. Meanwhile, the Great British Pound and the Euro traded at 2,255 naira and 1,870 naira on the black market respectively. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Victoria. And on the foreign scene, Boko Haram insurgents have killed 17 Chadian soldiers in an attack on a military post over the weekend, also leaving 96 of the assailants dead in Chad's western region. According to the Chadian army, the attack occurred on Saturday, with army spokesperson General Ishaq Ashek confirming the assault during a national television broadcast on Sunday night. Details of the attack were not fully disclosed. The new attack has revived fears of violence after a period of peace following a successful operation launched in 2020 by the Chadian army to destroy the extremist group's bases. Back in October, 40 soldiers were killed during an attack on a military base, prompting President Mahamat Deby Itno to launch an operation to dislodge Boko Haram militants from Lake Chad. And Haitian Prime Minister Gary Conille has been dismissed by the country's ruling council less than 6 months after taking office. An executive order signed by 8 of the council's 9 members has appointed businessman and former Senate candidate Alex Didier Fils-Aimé as Conille's successor. Conille, a former United Nations official, was initially brought in to navigate Haiti's ongoing gang-led security crisis and was expected to help lead the country toward its first presidential elections since 2016. His removal has, however, sparked controversy. In a letter following his ousting, Conille called the decision illegal and expressed grave concerns about the implications for Haiti's future. And up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Tyla won the Best Afrobeat and Best African Act at the 2024 EMAs. The South African singer continued her sweep of the Global Award season after fending off competition from Nigerian superstars to win the Best Afrobeat and Best African Act at the 2024 VMAs. Tyla edged Ashake, Rema, Erastar, Burna Boy and Tems for the Best Afrobeats prize. She also beat DB and Gogo and Diamond Platnumz amongst other superstars to the Best African Act. Nigerian R&B superstar Tems has made history after getting 3 nominations for the 67th Grammys. Tems is the highest nominated Nigerian artist at the Grammys for Best African Music Performance, Best Global Album and Best R&B Song. Tems has become the first Nigerian female artist with a Grammy-nominated album as her debut effort, Born in the Wild, secured a place in the Best Global Album category. She also becomes the first African female lead artist to be nominated outside of the global categories. And that's your entertainment report on News Now. Joy Uchejim, TV360, Lagos.
And on sports, 10 players have already arrived at the Benin Republic camp in Abidjan ahead of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Cheetahs began their preparations for the crucial Matchday 5 encounter on Sunday. According to the Benin Football Federation, 8 more players are expected to join the camp on Monday. The match is scheduled to take place on Thursday at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in Abidjan. Benin currently sits in second place in Group D with 6 points from 4 matches. And Israel has advised its fans to avoid attending Thursday's France-Israel football match due to concerns over potential safety risks following recent violent incidents during a match in Amsterdam involving an Israeli club. Despite the expected presence of French President Emmanuel Macron and increased security, Israeli authorities issued the warning on Sunday, citing possible dangers. The match in Paris comes just 1 week after violent clashes in Amsterdam during a game between Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv and Dutch side Ajax, which resulted in around 24 injuries and over 60 arrests. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Simisola Jikun. We'll see you again next time.